Good morning, everyone. It is time for my final consecutive streaming day of the week. But it's only Tuesday. Well, my week this week is a little bit different. We'll talk about that on the show. In addition, we'll have some chill updates, some news. If you can believe it, I'm actually looking forward to engaging in a relaxing session, a less stress session of Elden Ring than of what I played yesterday in Street Fighter 6. When Elden Ring is more relaxing than something else, that says something. Anyway, we will discuss this, as well as many other topics, on today's episode of the Level 1 Podcast. Good morning and welcome. I'm DSP. This is the Level 1 Podcast on DSPGaming. Today is Tuesday, the 2nd of July, 2024. And yes, indeed, this is the last consecutive streaming day of the week for me. Normally, I would be streaming through Wednesday. Thursday would be my day off, and I would return on Friday. But this week, things are a little different due to personal appointments and things that had to be aligned a certain way. I found myself changing my schedule. I mean, I had to do appointments and I can't do them on July 4th. A lot of things are closed. So I was like, oh, I guess I have to change stuff around this week. So it is what it is. A shorter streaming week this week has still been a good one, right? I've still had a great time this week with all of you, albeit a little bit on the shorter side. Next week, I'm not sure what the schedule is going to be. I wish I could tell you, but I'm in one of those points again where things are fluctuating, things are changing. I don't know what things will be like next week. It could be a normal 6-day streaming week. It could be an extended 7-day streaming week where we go back to having Thursdays off. It could be a 5-day streaming week and I only stream through Monday. Like, I have no clue at this point. I'm not the kind of person that wants to overpromise and underdeliver, so I'm not going to be telling you the schedule throughout the entirety of the week next week. What I will say is this. It'll be a balance between Street Fighter 6 and Elden Ring DLC on the day streams. There'll be a balance between Stardew Valley and the Riven remake on the night streams. The only exception being Friday night fights, which will still be Street Fighter. There will still be a whole React day on Sunday between DSP versus the internet on DSP React and the continuing retro replay event of Dark Souls 1 on DSP Throwback. So all the stuff that's going on right now shall continue. The actual length of the week and stuff like that will be determined as the week makes progress through it. And so I'll have updates for you, as soon as I can. But what we're going to do is, after tomorrow being my day off from streaming, when I come back on Thursday, it's going to be a major daytime stream of Street Fighter 6, where I once again attempt to take Bison to Master Rank in Street Fighter 6. Then that night will be more Riven Remastered. And then Friday will be the Elden Ring DLC, and Friday Night Fights will be more Street Fighter. Saturday then will be more Elden Ring DLC and Stardew Valley. That's what we know for now. And I'll discuss more as we get closer to it. Now, what I was alluding to here in the intro of the show today is very simply that, man, Street Fighter 6 has become so stressful to play at this point. All right? And it's gotten to the point where I actually feel like I want to make a special video about this, because I actually feel like fighting games have seriously changed in the last 10 to 15 years, and so in some cases I would say for the better, but in a lot of cases I would also say for the worse. And I think I have a unique take on this because I used to be around back in the days of growing up in the arcades in the 1990s. Yes, I was around playing fighting games competitively before some of the epic names like Justin Wong were even around. And I was there as games were being discovered on a daily basis. What's competitive, what can be used in a match, what's a combo, what's a strategy to use, and how different the fighting game world was in that era versus the 2000s era, when it became a lot more grassroots, but the competition started to grow in size and stature, but they were still kind of relegated or limited to in-person tournaments, right, to get competition, and then how things changed during the Xbox 360, PS3 era as games like Street Fighter 4 went online and people started to play competitively over the internet. And now, of course, the modern era where before a game even comes out, there's videos on tech on how to play it, breaking down the characters and the game's meta. Within a day of a character being released, here's how you beat the character and completely dominate them. Videos on the internet. So I think one of the things that I could definitely do is make a very unique video about this. My take being that, you know, my history with fighting games and how things changed, and why, and maybe what the future may hold. But just to give you guys some perspective here, right? Like, Bison hasn't even been out in Street Fighter 6 for a week yet. Not even a single week. Tomorrow would be the 1 week anniversary of when this character has been out in Street Fighter 6. Within 1 week, people already know the absolute best tech and combos. People already know the ways to completely shut down this character. It hasn't even been a week. And here I am, you know, trying to learn the character, studying these videos of top players playing and everything, and trying to figure stuff out. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just scratching my head. This is what Street Fighter is now. You know, like, already a week in, it's as if the character has been in the game since the start. You know, I'm trying to learn slowly and adjust and I'm just trying to get timing down. I'm trying to get muscle memory down for combos and the like, because I'm not very good at it right now. And every time I play the game, I end up dropping a lot of my inputs and everything, and it leads, literally dropping one input in Street Fighter 6 at this point leads to a loss. It's not even like, oh, you made one mistake, big deal, you can recover. It's like, oh no, then they hit you with a 70% combo, and now the round is over unless you get incredibly lucky. And it's like, what happened to fighting games that every single person that you play, like, there's no opportunity to even learn anymore. It's just, you better go into it at top level. And it's funny because there's people in the chat who come by my fighting game streams who said, I just tried to play fighting games and I can't even play. I just wanted to try Street Fighter, so I bought it and I tried to play. I literally haven't won a match in 2 days that I've been trying to play. I can't win a single match. Even though I watched some videos, I did the tutorials, I go online and everyone just spanks me with these patterns. Yeah. Like, that's what fighting games are now. It's not like it used to be. There's not even like a window of discovery anymore, where it used to be, oh, something new is in a fighting game, everyone's going to jump into the game and try to learn it, and we all learn it at each other's pacing. Instead, it's already completely blown out, explained, extrapolated. The meta is already determined, posted all over the internet. So if you weren't sitting there days before something new hit studying, you might as well not even play. You know, there's some games where studying up and understanding mechanics before you play the game makes sense. Like the FromSoft franchise, Elden Ring particularly, Dark Souls, the games don't really do a great job of explaining everything. If you look into those games online and you kind of like research everything ahead of time, you absolutely will have a much better time playing through them. There's almost like a moment of ding, the light bulb hits above your head. Oh, that's how that works. This is how that works. Cool. And then you start to really appreciate the game more, right? And man, in regards to fighting games, at this point, it really does feel like it's like there's a window of maybe 3-4 months when a fighting game first comes out, right? Where everyone's kind of exploring and enjoying. And once that initial kind of honeymoon period is over, you might as well not even play unless you're going to be serious about being competitive in the game. You will not have fun. You're just going to get spanked by people who play constantly. And there's all reasons for this. You know, now that there's teams and the idea that you can make it big and be a pro streamer or a pro player and get signed and get sponsorships, this could be your career and you could blow up on the internet and get views. That's way fucking different than when I grew up, when there was nothing to it at all. It didn't matter if you were the best Street Fighter player on the planet. It was still your hobby. No one was making a living doing it, so we all did it for the fun of it. And to some extent, that made it feel a lot more genuine than people who just sit there try-harding the fucking game out to try to get some kind of milking it for something for themselves rather than just enjoying it and getting good at it. So, the truth is that I feel it's just not as fun anymore playing fighting games. By the way, this does not mean that I'm not enjoying them and I'm going to stop playing them, especially with my year of Street Fighter 6 and being reintroduced to competitive fighting games. It's been awesome. But there's also a ton of stress. Like yesterday, I went into this Street Fighter 6 stream, a day stream yesterday with Bison, with the mentality that I was going to play casual play for like an hour. I was going to relax with the audience. Every 2-3 sets, I was going to relax, have a conversation with the audience, do shout-outs and the like, and then go back into the game with a fresh mindset. I wasn't going to allow myself to get tilted or anything. For the most part, that happened until the very end of the stream when I actually didn't have time to take a break because I only had like 15 minutes left, so I just kept going. And that's actually the time when I got really, really tilted, all right, at the very end of the stream. But, man, let me tell you, I'm just like playing the game. I'm like, I want to get better with Bison. But if I get a single dropped input, it's like the end of the world. Like, I might as well not even have booted the game up. And that happened many times where, you know, I'm in the midst of a match. It's like, okay, here's the combo. Standing medium, low medium, standing medium. EX says, oh, my third standing medium dropped completely. Even though it's the easiest sequence. It's not even a tough timing. It's super easy. So now they punish the fact that the scissors came out and their whole round is over. Oh, okay. Oh, look, I'm about to win. Double jumping medium punch. Only the first medium punch comes out. The second one completely drops. So now I land next to the opponent in a disadvantageous position, and then they take advantage by putting me in the corner, and the game's over. Oh. You know? And that's what I mean. Like, back in the day, you made one mistake. Okay, maybe in some cases that would be it. But in modern games, the fact that the damage potential is so high, and it's not hard to do those combos. Like, back in the day, okay, maybe you could destroy someone, but it was like an infinite combo that took a lot of execution and practice to do. Today, it's like, oh, look, 3 hits, drive rush, 3 hits, super cancel. Oh, look, you lost 70% of your life. And anyone can do it. Not tough. All you got to do is see someone do it. I mean, there's 5,000 fucking tutorial videos on YouTube about how to do it. So you just watch a few, you practice it a few times. There you go. So, for me, you know, just trying to learn Bison and not someone who's sitting there studying, watching endless videos. I have watched top videos of Bison, but I haven't been studying these fucking tutorial videos necessarily. I'm not sitting there labbing. Yes, this is what really gets me. Labbing. Literally people saying, Phil, I don't get it. You don't sit in training mode endlessly practicing your combos and your timing. And so when you're playing online, you drop stuff and you get frustrated. Why aren't you labbing? Labbing. Because in real life, people don't have time to sit around labbing. Even when I was a former pro fighting game player, I never labbed. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? You play the game. That's how you learn. You don't learn by sitting in training mode ad nauseum, practice combo, 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 practice combo. Because then guess what? You're just a fucking bot. You're just someone who's regurgitating a formula that you programmed into your head with muscle memory rather than someone who's intelligently fucking thinking. Why do you think there's so many people online that can actually do these crazy combos or a mix-up pattern in the corner, but the moment you rattle them and you get them out of that flowchart, they don't even understand how to play fighting games. So they're stuck eternally at like the 4 to 5 star diamond level. They can't ever push into master, or if they do, they completely die and lose every match. And those are the people who have 1,300 master ranking points because they can't win. They don't know how to play fighting games. They just labbed all day. So they have the muscle memory, but they have no fucking knowledge of how to play the game. So anyway, that's what I mean. Like, all this shit is just so different from back when I used to play competitive fighting games. I kind of feel like I could make a whole video about it. Maybe like a half-an-hour video that would kind of explain. And it might open some eyes. I'm certainly not saying that modern fighting games are terrible by any means. I'm just saying it doesn't feel very welcoming or friendly to anyone who's not going to be committing endless amounts of time. There is no casual play anymore in modern fighting games. It just doesn't exist. The moment you jump online, you're facing tryhards who fucking play so much and lab all day that you can't even fucking try shit. Like, oh, my first time playing a new character, let's experiment. Oh, I just got completely dominated in 10 seconds. I didn't know what I was doing, and they just completely destroyed me. I didn't even have a chance to press a button. Oh, that's a fun fighting game, right? I mean, no. And that's the online experience in Street Fighter 6 and others as well, but Street Fighter 6 is pretty bad. Anyway, so the point I'm making here is that yesterday in Street Fighter 6, here I am approaching it. I'm going to be cool and calm. I'm going to approach it in a new way. It was ridiculous. Like, in casual play, I did all right. I think I won, like, 13 matches, and I lost, like, 8 or something like that. So I won way more than I lost in casual play. The moment I started playing at ranked 5-star diamond with Bison, first of all, I only fought 4 fucking characters. Now, that's an exaggeration. I think I fought 2 Kims, maybe 1 Aki, maybe not. I think I fought 1 JP, but it was like an army of fucking Camis, M. Bisons, Ryus, and Akumas. And that was it. It was like cycling 4 characters. That's not fun. That's boring as dirt, only fighting against the same 4 characters. You just don't want to play anymore. Like, dude, it's the same shit again. I'm fucking bored of this. Give me any other character. Like, I would take a fucking Jury. I would take Ken's. Give me any character, even a top-tier character. Just give me something for variety so I can have fun. No, it's the same fucking 4 characters in a circle. They're fucking tryhards. All they do is they want to pick the new hot top-tier character and just fucking, oh, I want to get wins. I want to get the master. It's fucking lame. It's a bad mentality, you know? Well, what I find hilarious are these Camis that are eternally stuck at 5-star diamond and cannot get the fucking master. I mean, Cammy's a launch character. It's been over a year. If you didn't get her to master yet, you're probably never getting her to master. It's time to try something different. Like, maybe try to learn how to play the game instead of just learning the one fucking pattern that got you to 5-star diamond but will never get you to the next level because you have no actual knowledge of fighting games. Maybe stop labbing and actually, like, fucking learn fighting games instead. Just saying. Anyway, so yeah, like, yesterday was just not a good session for me. I genuinely was going into it with a fresh mindset that I was going to play it differently. And by the end of the day, I was just as frustrated and pissed off. And I felt like it was a waste of time. I think I gained all day 150 master ranking points. At least I gained points. But still, I'm playing 3+ hours, right? And I'm absolutely, like, ridiculous. I don't know what the hell I'm supposed to do to enjoy the game when it's the same 4 characters in a loop. If I drop one move, I can't. That's it. Game over, right? It's oh my god. It's like mind numbing. Gives you a headache. Makes you feel like this is what the game is now. I can't even have fun. It's not even like I could jump online and wow, in 3 hours I played like 12, 13 different characters and was good variety and we had good matchups. No, every matchup's played exactly the same. It's like you're playing the same thing 17, 18 times. It's like sitting in a photocopy. You're just photocopying the same thing over and over for 3 hours straight. It's not fun. That's not good at all. But what's happened is I feel like when everyone decided that they were going to put all of their tech online, meaning I'm going to make this video. Here's how you do the meta with fucking Cammy, right? Well, guess what? Now everyone copied it and everyone plays it exactly the fucking same. So now there's no originality, there's no discovery, there's no anything that's unique or interesting in the game. It's just the same pattern over and over. Put me to sleep, right? It's not what the spirit of fighting games even is supposed to fucking be. That's the Street Fighter V mentality. That's why Street Fighter V was a terrible game, because there was no creativity. It was literally everyone playing the game exactly the fucking same. Now, when you get out of certain characters, it's played like I very rarely see a Dalsim that's played identically across the board. Zangief, I rarely see a Zangief that's played identically. Blanca is like really unique. Every Blanca seems to play a little different. That's cool, and that's what I like about Street Fighter 6. It does have that variety to it, thankfully. It's not just the same thing. So it has the best of both worlds. You got your shitty pattern play of Street Fighter V for those who suck at fighting games, and then you've got actual unique play with some ingenuity and imagination to it with certain other unique characters. So it does have that balance. But I hate this pattern shit, and that's what the game is becoming online. Almost every person now has just memorized the pattern, and this is how I play, and that's not how you play fighting game. But they think it is, because they're squeaking out wins, because that's how the game's been designed, you know? Anyway, so yesterday, I was so stressed out, because my whole intention was to try to get Bison to master, or at least get him a little closer. I literally, again, played for 3 hours, got like 150 ranking points. At that rate, it'll take me another 7 streams, you know? Well, okay, that's another exaggeration. It'd probably take me like at least another 3 or 4 streams of playing to get them to master. I don't even want to do that. Like, I really don't. I don't want to play these same fucking people, these same fucking matchups. They're boring. They're very boring to me. So I'm wondering what's going to happen. When it comes to, you know, Thursday, when I come back from my break, the mainstream of Street Fighter 6, more Bison. I'm going to do some casual again. I'm probably going to try to reduce the amount of casual play I do because I kept going. I went almost an hour and a half of casual play. And then I realized, oh man, now I just don't have enough time to get as far in ranked as I wanted. I kind of screwed that up, and that's on me. But it was because I didn't feel confident enough. I was playing and I was like dropping an input, bad execution. And why? Because I don't play enough to hang with these fucking people. I play Street Fighter, once every 3 days, and I play it for only a few hours. A lot of these people, like I said, they're labbing all fucking day, then they jump online, they play at night. It's like, dude, this is all they do. Yet they're stuck at 5-star diamond. So again, so in some cases, it's not just about time invested, it's about level of ingenuity and intelligence and understanding rather than just pattern play ad nauseum. I think that's what a lot of people are missing in Street Fighter. Anyway, so the point I'm making here is no exaggeration right now. Today we're about to play Elden Ring Shadow of the Erd Tree, okay? I'm excited for it. We're in a whole new area we unlocked. I'm going to check out this whole northwestern area of the map and see what's there and see where it goes from there. And I'm excited for that, but it's like, I'm actually realizing playing Elden Ring today will likely be less stressful and more enjoyable than when I played Street Fighter yesterday. I'm actually going to have more fun, more discovery, right? Because we're going to see new stuff. Do you see my point? You're playing Street Fighter 6, you don't even get to see anything new. It's the same fucking patterns over and over. I'm playing Elden Ring, we're going to see new areas, new bosses, new dungeons, right? I'm going to enjoy this a lot more today. That says something, you know. It really does say something. One of the most challenging games out there, crushing difficulty. I'm going to enjoy and be more relaxed to play this today. But it's just the fact, okay? Yeah, I'm excited for Elden Ring today, and I'm actually like wondering what the hell's going to happen when I play Street Fighter 6 again on Thursday. All right. Anyway, like I said, I'm strongly thinking about doing like maybe a half-an-hour video. The question is, where should I put it? Because I was thinking I would put it on DSP Reacts, but if I put it there, that channel doesn't get very much views or traction. You know what I'm saying? Maybe if I put it on this channel, but I almost never do a talking style video besides my podcast on this channel. So I don't even know what to do to put it somewhere that people would actually see the video and care. That's a problem. I have too much. All my channels are like squared away to be this formula of what you're expecting on it, right? Anyway, so let's quickly, well, I already talked about the schedule, right? I already did. Yeah, we don't even have to do that. I already kind of told you what the next 3 days of schedule are. Can I put it on all three? I mean, I could, but isn't that kind of diluting the message when the same exact video is on 3 channels, right? Oh no, Lord X Law says, so the main issue is that fighting games are too competitive now and it's hard to keep up. No, the problem is that today, due to factors that are very different from back in the day, meaning by spreading the competitive information about a fighting game to the masses right away, you get personal gain from it, right? You make money, you get views, you get notoriety, right? Then all of a sudden you can immediately adopt that. You get noticed. Oh, maybe I get signed for a team. Maybe I get a sponsorship. Maybe I can make big money on my streams. Because of all that, there is literally no time of discovery anymore in any fighting game. The moment a new character is released or a new DLC patch comes out, everyone knows everything within a day. And that era of discovery, that time frame when a new fighting game was released or an update to a fighting game was released, used to be one of the most fun, enjoyable times because everyone was on the same equal footing, messing around, trying to learn everything, and you would have fun new gameplay mechanics, people experimenting with new things, people trying to see how things fit, and it would last a while. Today, it's literally 5 minutes. In some cases, it's no time at all because they have access to new content, certain people, before it's even released. So they're already making videos about a new character and a new gameplay mechanic before it's even in the real game, and it's already been spoiled for everyone before anyone can even play it. In my opinion, when they decided that everything should be instant gratification, instead of earning it by playing and learning yourself, it's now, hey, the moment something is out, everyone knows about it because it's already online. Every plot is spoiled. Every Easter egg is found. Every nuance of the meta of anything competitive is already exposed within 24 hours. When that happens, there is no fun factor to a game anymore. You've already exposed everything. Like, how do you even have a good time? Oh, it's a feeling of a new game. No, it feels old within a day because everyone already knows everything, right? When a new character comes out, you should be able to have fun with them at least for a little bit before it's so serious that, oh, I took one hit because I made a mistake. Oh, I lost the entire game. What the fuck just happened? It's brand new. How the fuck does everyone know this right from the get-go? Within 24 hours of Bison being out, already everyone knew you can't do a scissor kick because someone could just punish it with standing light kick into a free combo. How the fuck did you know that? How does every player know that? Because some fucking dunce made a video, how to beat Bison, and they spoiled it. So no one discovers it naturally. Everyone just knows it within 24 hours, and now you've basically ruined the entire discovery period for the character. And that takes the fun factor out of the game. That's my point. It's not that everyone's trying to play harder. Hey, that's naturally going to happen when now there's a reward. There's now a carrot at the end of the stick. It used to be you just do it for fun and bragging rights. Now, if you get competitive in a fighting game, you have a chance to get signed, to make money in a setting, playing tournaments and traveling with a team. You could get sponsorships. You can make money on a stream. So I get it. Like, there's now a goal at the end that you could profit from being good. But the fact that because that's happened, now fighting games are no fun to be played, you ruined it. Like, what's the fucking point? Unless you plan on becoming a pro player in a fighting game, what exactly is the incentive to be playing Street Fighter 6 right now? Like I said, I've had people the last couple of months come into the chat saying, man, I like watching your Street Fighter 6, so I tried to play it. I just get bodied endlessly. I can't even win a single round. Everyone just dominates me with insane combos and strategies, and I have no chance to even win a single game. Yeah, that's lame. That's sad, actually. It didn't used to be like that. You actually had a chance to kind of fuck around in the games earlier and have fun, even if you weren't so serious. Now it's like every fucking player is a super aspiring to be, you know, the next top player kind of deal, and it sucks the fun out of the fucking game. See, I completely disagree. Epsilon Knight says the games themselves have the tools to improve, though. Back in the day, some people would have exclusive tech they didn't share, and they bodied everyone with it, and that's not fun. No, actually, that's the opposite. It was super fun. Because here's what would happen. You'd be the best person in your community. But then you would leave your community to go to a tournament. And the tournament was a get-together of all different people from the region, maybe even people flying across the country. Shit, maybe even people flying in from another country to perform at a tournament. And that's when you were exposed to all of this tech. It wasn't just, I go to the tournament to compete. It's you're going to the tournament to learn. This is your opportunity to educate yourself on the game and to see new strategies and figure stuff out, because for the first time you get exposed to this melting pot of gameplay that you couldn't find because there was no online to spew it all out on within 24 hours. So the tournament was a super fun event because it was where you would actually get to see the best of the best duke it out, show their skill, and no one had any clue who was going to win. At any waking moment, you could have a nobody walk in from the streets and have some strategy you've never seen and dominate the top players. That was incredibly fun. That doesn't exist anymore at all because everyone knows the tech right away. And that has ruined that feeling of chance and discovery and kind of like almost like, you know, you never know what's going to happen. That's fun. That fun's gone. Where is it? Everyone knows everything. Everyone has the same combos, the same patterns, the same gameplay, the same fucking flowchart, right? Oh, within 24 hours, no one ever scissor kick again with Bison because you can punish it immediately. Why the fuck do we know that within 24 hours? That's stupid as shit. So anyway, that's just some of the few things, you know, that I have to say. But You know, a lot of people will likely disagree with me, but that's a different perspective. Most of these people who play fighting games today, they only started playing in this modern era. They probably, the first game they played was Street Fighter 4 or 5, right? And for me, it's like, dude, I've been playing since Street Fighter 2. Actually, I played Street Fighter 1, all right? Of course, it wasn't competitive. So for me, it feels so different, you know? What it really is, it's that old school Smash Mouth feeling. To get good, you have to go to the arcade, you have to put your quarters in, you have to take your beatings, but it's through that time-tested combat and metal that you get better. It's not, oh, I sit in the lab, I sit in the lab, I sit in the lab, la 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 la. Oh, now I've memorized the same pattern that everyone else knows. Now I apply that online. And then you go online, oh, I got lucky. Now I'm in my pattern. Now I win the round. And then the moment, oh, I couldn't apply the pattern, I lose instantly because I don't know how to play fighting games. That's modern fighting games. Half the people I lose to are terrible at fighting games, but they've labbed enough that they've learned that pattern that you can't really get out of unless you get lucky because it's a guessing game. Well, anyway, anyone having streaming issues? No, there's no issues with the stream, correct? Nope. The quality looks good. We haven't dipped. Nope, everything looks fine. So if there is issues, it might be a server issue on YouTube side. Everything looks good and green on my end. Excuse me. Okay. All right, so anyway, I wanted to get that off my chest. If I make a video about this, it'll be way more organized. Like, I'm just kind of all over the place today with this. But it's just the point I'm making is, for someone like me, who I'm not going to sit here and try hard out the games. I'm not going to sit here and lab out my shit. I don't have time for that. I have a busy life. I'm a variety streamer. When I play fighting games, that's my opportunity to play. So unless you want to see me have a lab stream where all I do is sit in training mode practicing a combo, and you want to go to sleep, I'm not going to be labbing. I'm just going to be playing. But it's become very, very tough to actually play fighting games at any kind of a fun capacity. When I play, I get experiences like yesterday, where I'm trying to learn, I'm trying to get my stuff down. If I make one mistake, the whole round's over. Things are dropping, and I'm like getting so frustrated because it's like, was it me? Was it my joystick? Was it the netcode? It wasn't input delay because we solved that issue. Like, one of the things has been taken out, right? So what is the factor? I don't even know. And it's so frustrating when you can't advance because simple little mistakes are leading to entire games of failure because everyone has labbed out so fucking much. Oh my god, man. Anyway, I've said my piece. I think I've gabbed enough about fighting games this morning. Like I said, I think I'm gonna I will kind of make at some point. I don't know if it'll be anytime like today, but I think I want to make like a formal video discussing it. But I don't know where to put it. Like I said, I would like to put it on DSP Reacts, but I don't think anyone would watch it on that channel. I think if I put it on this channel, it has a higher chance of being taken seriously and watched. Okay. So anyway, now that we talked about that and got that out of the way, I believe... Oh, yeah. I have a little bit of news to talk about. Let's do some game news. We have a little bit of news to talk about this morning, so let's go to that segment. One of the news stories actually broke yesterday during this Capcom event that they did digitally. And people were telling me about it during my live streams, but I didn't have time to really look into it until last night. Dead Rising Deluxe Remaster is coming out September 18th. For pretty much everything, okay? It is now running on the the RE engine. I keep calling it Resident Evil engine. Apparently, that's not what it stands for, but it's the proprietary graphical engine that Capcom made for all of their games. I mean, all their games look gorgeous running on it. Resident Evil, Street Fighter, I mean, it's amazing, this engine. So now they're putting Dead Rising into this engine, but not only is the game going to look like a monstrous graphical upgrade, they have added tons of quality of life improvements. including an autosave feature. This was one of the major complaints about the game when people first played it, including me, is that you have to manually save. So you could do an incredible amount of stuff, but the manual saves are far apart from each other. You have to keep going back to the safe room to save, and that's incredibly frustrating because what if one little thing goes wrong? Now you got to replay an entire segment. You know, there's actually stretches in Dead Rising where, like, I have to rescue 5-6 people at once in one run, and if one thing goes wrong, do the whole thing over from the start. Like, oh, fuck. You don't want to do that, right? So, auto-saving, really, really, really good feature in that game. Revamped controls. For Dead Rising 1, it desperately needed it. Dead Rising 1 had a very weird control scheme, particularly like if you grabbed like a shopping cart or you were running around with certain things in the environment, the controls would feel terrible. And it's not that they were uncontrollable, it was like they were so different from what felt natural that you'd have to learn this system. And now they're redoing the controls to make it feel more natural for a modern audience. I think that's going to be an improvement. Improved UI, I mean, that's not a big deal, but any UI improvements are always welcome. The game is going to be fully voice acted, meaning no more reading those text boxes and shit. Everyone's just going to talk out every scene, which is good. That way you don't have to fucking read all day. But for the most part, it's identical. Like, it's going to be the same game, just with quality of life improvements. And it's coming out September 18th for $50, $49.99. Now, for some people, they may feel like that's kind of pricey. And I'll be honest, I mean, it's exactly the same game. You're not getting a new game. It's literally Dead Rising 1 looking better and playing slightly better. Now, Dead Rising 1 hasn't had a remake in, what, 8-9 years? I can't remember exactly when the one came out that was for, like, Xbox One and PlayStation 4. But, you know, I think that it's a good thing to re-release the game, especially for, like, brand awareness. Dead Rising was, for a long time, one of the biggest franchises of Capcom, and then they ruined it with 4 and never made another one. maybe if this does well, this would be the notice that says, hey, you should make a new Dead Rising, right? Which I think is kind of what was happening with Capcom games. Basically, what they needed to see was a reinvigoration of fighting games. And now that Street Fighter 6 has been a success for Capcom, now they're realizing we should do other fighting game content, which is why they have this MVC collection coming out and other things. I mean, hell, we got Terry Bogard and Mai Shiranui as guest characters in Street Fighter 6, and everyone now is thinking, hey, if they do well, they're probably going to make another Capcom versus SNK game. They might, right? So maybe this is a way, if this remake sells, or remaster, whatever you want to call it, maybe it'll, you know, push them, a little nudge to make a new Dead Rising game. And please, Lord, if they do, let it play like Dead Rising 1 and 2, not 3 and 4. 3 and 4 are just not very, they're not very challenging. You're just kind of running around mass murdering everything with, like, really no risk. And it makes it, like, very basically not horror and not fun. I think Dead Rising 1 and 2 are better games than 3 and 4. So I would hope that they make it more like the originals. Anyway, so Dead Rising Ultimate Remaster, whatever it's called, coming out September 18th. In fact, I will put that on my list. Some people have already asked me, am I going to play it? It's a maybe. Like, I've already played it. And when I played it, that remake version, I already did everything in it. I played it twice, if you remember. And by the way, Dead Rising is much better the second playthrough than the first. So I don't know if you guys would want to see me play it again or not. I'll have to think about it. You know, let me know. So get this. PlayStation architect Mark Cerny has filed a patent. And he's done things like this before. So don't get too excited. Okay? But the patent is for backwards compatibility on the PlayStation console. Now, some people are excited thinking, wait a minute. Does this mean that maybe on the PS5, they're actually going to look to have backwards compatibility with the classic PlayStation games, right? Don't know, right? You know, could we be able to play PS3 games on PS5, which you literally can't do right now because they don't run right? What you have to do is that streaming cloud service shit over PS Plus Premium, right? Remember, I tried it with Infamous 2, and it was fine, but the visuals were blurry, and there was a little bit of input delay, but it was still playable. Well, they're talking about natively having PS3 games run on PS5, okay? I mean, that would be absolutely amazing if they did that. I mean, you could do that right now with the Xbox Series. You could play Xbox Series S and X games, Xbox One games, Xbox 360 games, original Xbox games, all on the current Xbox console. Why does Sony not care about that? Do they really want their entire catalog of PS3 games to be lost forever? There's really no way to play them right now, unless you own a PS3, and who the fuck has a working PS3 in 2024, right? So you would think they're going to do this, but some insiders are saying, actually, this has happened before, where there's been patents filed for something like this, and given the timing of the patent being filed, they actually think that maybe this is for PS6, not PS5. That maybe they're filing this early, and then they're going to work on doing it, and when PlayStation 6 launches, that'll be a feature of PS6 at launch. Play the legacy library of PlayStation. I guess we'll find out soon, but anyway, it's in the news. Now, here's something interesting. So, EVO registrations have closed. EVO is the big national tournament in the United States, gets tons of entries and everything. For fighting games, that is. And here's our numbers. You ready for this? I mean, these numbers are insane. Street Fighter 6 has 5,265 entries. Tekken 8 has 4,646. Guilty Gear Strive 2,058. Grand Blue Fantasy versus Rising, which is I believe it was the update to the Grand Blue Fantasy game that came out a year or two ago. 1,377. Elite. Oh, come on. That's ridiculous. Street Fighter 3 Third Strike, 1,101, which is insane to see a 1,000-person Street Fighter 3 tournament. I think it's the biggest they've ever had in the world. Under Night Rebirth 2. What the fuck is the name of this game? Under Night Inbirth 2 Celeste? What the fuck is that? 785 entries. Fucking rename your game. Anyway, Mortal Kombat 1, 645 players, and the King of Fighters 15, 375 players. Now, wait a second. One of these things is not like the others. Right? The big three, the ones that we were talking about, that in the last year each had a new installment. Street Fighter 6, Tekken 8, Mortal Kombat 1. What game sold the most out of those three? Are you aware? Mortal Kombat 1. Mortal Kombat 1 far outsold Street Fighter 6 and Tekken 8. But did you hear the number of entries? Let's do this again. Street Fighter 6, 5,265 entries. Tekken 8, 4,646 entries. Mortal Kombat 1, 645 entries. So, do you get my point when we talk about Mortal Kombat? Because a lot of people, I think, don't get it when I mention this game. Because a lot of people think that it's like this giant popular game and everyone plays it and it makes a lot of money and everything. And that's very true for like 2 months when the game comes out, right? And then after that, what happens is everyone plays it and they're like, wow, this game fucking sucks competitively. It's fine to play casually as a party game or whatever, but people just lose that honeymoon period of enjoying the game right away. And all the competitive players play it for like a month or two, and then they drop the shit out of it, and you never hear about it ever again. This has literally happened with every Mortal Kombat and every Injustice game. But with Mortal Kombat 1, it's actually the worst. This is the biggest drop-off that NetherRealm has ever seen for a fighting game that they've ever put out. There's never been this more of a drop-off, okay? So actually, it's funny, because some people are now talking online about what is going on with Mortal Kombat 1. Why do people just not like this game? Now, I told you my takes. Here's my takes. Number one, the only improved thing about Mortal Kombat 1 is the graphics. The graphics are better than previous games. But if you look at the gameplay mechanics, they actually removed the mechanics from Mortal Kombat 11 to make the game simpler to play, but it made it worse. Now the game is too basic to be fun to play competitively. It's only a few basic strategies that are just repeated ad nauseum, like high-low mix-up, tossing in your cameo assist, okay? Number two, the game's too heavily reliant on cameo assists. If you like Mortal Kombat 1 feeling of 1v1 gameplay, well, guess what? You can't have that anymore because the cameos ruin it. There's no more 1v1. It's always the cameo coming in to kind of ruin the fight, so you can't really play it like a 1v1 fight anymore, Okay? In addition, the game has some of the worst online play I've ever seen in a modern fighting game. Like both Tekken 8 and Street Fighter 6 are outstanding online experiences. Mortal Kombat 1 was laggy as shit. In the beta, in the full release, it was just bad. The connections were overall way worse. So, simplified gameplay that's not as good as the last few games, a cameo system no one asked for, and online play that sucks shit. Why would you think your game would have any longevity? You want to know the truth? I don't think NetherRealm thought it would. I think that NetherRealm knew this game wasn't that good, but they needed to put out another game to make some money because they had nothing else. Keep in mind that in their cycle, for the last 15 years, it's been new Mortal Kombat game, Injustice. New Mortal Kombat game, Injustice 2, new Mortal Kombat game, and everyone was expecting either Injustice 3 or maybe a new game from them. And then we waited and waited and waited, and there was nothing. And then all of a sudden, hey guys, another Mortal Kombat, but we won't call it Mortal Kombat 12. We'll call it Mortal Kombat 1. And we'll reboot. Wait, reboot? You already rebooted Mortal Kombat in Mortal Kombat 9. So now you're doing a reboot of the reboot. You know what I mean? Like, what were you thinking? Obviously, you know, every sign points to they just pushed this game out to make some money. They knew it wasn't that good, and they didn't give a fuck. They just wanted dollar bill to keep finances going with their company. So, actually, pro players have been weighing in on Mortal Kombat 1 and the fact that no one registered for this goddamn tournament at EVO. And here's the things that they're saying. Number one, Mortal Kombat 1's cameo system isn't appealing to everyone. Number two, people wanted a normal 1v1 Mortal Kombat and didn't get it because the cameos ruin it. And number three, the devs cannot help but force competitors to choose top 1 and 2. What does that mean? It means the game's insanely unbalanced. It basically means that unlike other fighting games where you can see variety, like when you play Tekken, my God, there's a ton of variety with the characters people pick. With Street Fighter 6, yes, there's established top tiers, but you'll at least see good variety when you play the game. With Mortal Kombat 1, literally there's like 2 dominant characters that everyone else doesn't hold a candle to. So if you want to win a tournament, you're picking one of those 2 characters. Now the funny part is, I couldn't even tell you who they are because I don't give a fuck about Mortal Kombat 1 because it sucks. So I don't even know who those dominant characters are in the game. From what I'm to understand, NetherRealm tried to counter this by patching the game and then patching it again and then patching it again. But every time they patch it to try to fix it, they just make another problem. So like, okay, so now this character is not the best character anymore. They nerfed them, but then it just makes these 2 the best instead. Okay, well now this one gets patched. Okay, so now this one is instead. And that just kept happening. There's always 2 top characters in the game. So it's just sad that NetherRealm, I think that they were on the right track. I actually think that like what they were doing with the franchise, especially with Mortal Kombat 11 and some of the changes they made that honestly made it feel more Street Fighter-esque, this was the way to go if they actually wanted their game to be taken seriously competitively. But instead, they just went completely in the wrong direction with MK1 for a cash grab, and now no one cares about their game. Here we are, the first major EVO, right, since the game came out, literally the second to last most registered game, and no one's talking about it, no one cares about it. They could cancel the tournament today and no one would cry. You know what I'm saying? Okay. So that's the game news for today, guys. Thanks for listening. I have a couple shout-outs to do here. And then we'll probably do a little bit of Q&A. We'll see how time permits. If we want to end the show a little on the earlier side to get extra Elden Ring gameplay, we can do that. We've done that a few times. Okay. First of all, shout out to Sleep, who has gifted a membership, and it went to Piece of Peace. Although I don't know if that's the real Piece of Peace or not. But Sleep basically said in the chat earlier that previously they had been gifted some memberships and they wanted to pay it forward. So thank you to Sleep for supporting the channel. On the tip side of stuff, we have a couple tips already to talk about. My first tip of the day is a $10 tip from Only Iced Infinite. He says, I just beat Mesmer. That boss fight is insane. If the final boss is harder, pray for us. Good luck. I've actually heard that I don't know who the final boss is, but I heard the final boss of this DLC is supposedly the hardest boss in FromSoft history. A lot of people actually who legitimately would fight the boss gave up and said, fuck this, and ended up summoning and using every cheap tactic possible to beat the boss, because apparently it's so hard. So, I guess we'll see when I get there, but you know me with you know, my pacing and balances, I probably won't even get there for another 2 weeks, honestly. Like, we're not even 2 weeks into it now, and people are saying, yeah, you're about halfway through the DLC. So yeah, probably another 2 weeks before we get to the end game stuff. We'll see. Okay. I received a $2 tip. Could you please wish my boyfriend Timothy a happy birthday? Please, please, please. We're watching your stream right now. Absolutely not. I'm incredibly offended that you would ask me, Darkside Phil, to wish your boyfriend Timothy a happy birthday. Why on earth would I wish your boyfriend Timothy a very special, fun, and happy day today, the day of his birth? I would never do such a thing on my streams. How dare you presume that I would wish Timothy a very happy birthday? Thank you for the $2 tip. I would never do that. Okay. I received a $1 tip. Someone says, after the stream, can you check your email for an unban request? Well, hold on. Hold on. Okay. I don't have to do that anymore because I just took care of it. There you go. Congratulations. Sometimes it's easy. Sometimes it's not so easy. That was a super easy one. I was able to do it instantly. There you go. How easy was that? Ba-doom, boom, boom. Bada bing, bada bang. Probably a troll. It's probably a troll, but that's fine. They'll just get rebanned anyway, so I don't care. All right. So, guys, at this point, I'll open up the chat to open Q&A. Anything you want to talk about, you know, hit me, tag me in the chat. If you have a contribution, obviously gets priority. I'll shout it out. Please today, if you like Elden Ring and you like my gameplay and my content, please support the stream today. Yesterday's Street Fighter stream, for some odd reason, was my least supported Street Fighter stream in a very long time, and I don't know why. The Riven stream last night was not bad. I forgot to talk about Riven. So FYI, last night I played Riven Remastered. It's really good, and here's why. It's basically like Myst, only I feel that the location's more interesting. There's more to discover. And unlike Myst, which is pre-rendered cutscenes, right? It's just you kind of like go around pre-rendered environments. In Riven Remastered on PC, everything's full 3D rendered. So it looks really nice. Now, I'm not playing it at the best graphical quality because my mini PC can't handle that. So I'm doing this weird, like, mid-level, but it still looks pretty good, and it's running at a pretty decent frame rate. It's not, like, full 60 all the time, but it looks pretty good. If you like that point-and-click adventure game idea from the 90s, but you want to see an actual 3D rendering of it, it's kind of, like, mind-numbing because you're like, dude, I wish that the original games looked like this in the 90s. You know, it would have been so much better because there really aren't point-and-click adventure games like this anymore, you know? But I had a blast with it. The first two hours last night was really fun. If you liked my Myst playthrough from several years ago, you're definitely going to like this Riven playthrough. So give it a look. And that continues on Saturday night. Okay? No, wait. It continues Thursday night. My bad. Thursday is Street Fighter 6 and more Riven Remastered. I forgot. Yeah. Lucy, thank you for becoming a member. I appreciate the membership, Lucy. Rebecca says, do you think you and Kat would play Robin Hood Sherwood Builders? She tried it and hated it. You tried playing it on the Xbox Series S. It runs terribly. The frame rate dips constantly. The controls are very wonky because you can tell it's a PC game that they quickly ported. She played like an hour of it, hated it, and says she'll never play it again. So there you go. Would I go back to Tekken? No, I would not, Spawn Killer. One fighting game is enough for me. There's no way I can play more than one at a time at any competitive level. I already don't play Street Fighter 6 enough to hang. So no, I'm not going back to Tekken. The Blimp says, officially entering the second half of the year, how's your year been? You seem to be going quicker. Is it slow? Time is a weird thing. Here's the thing. Definitely time is flying. Like, it feels like the year just ended, and here we are. It's July, right? And in fact, we're about to have an insane heat wave this coming week. it's going to be like 90 plus degrees outside all week. And it's like, oh God, we're going to need air conditioners pumping constantly and everything. Oh boy, right? But no, time is moving fast. I will say this. When things are going well, time passes more quickly. When things are going poorly, time drags on. Last year, there was a lot of bullshit and drama and nonsense going on, like my first half of 2023, and it felt like that was endless. And then once the summer hit and Street Fighter 6 came out and everyone was excited for the new content and everything was more positive, the year flew by. This year, I'd say things have gone pretty smoothly and pretty fast for me. Like, you know, at least, you know, business-wise, stream-wise is what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about my personal life or anything like that, you know. But as for things here on streams, the games we're playing and everything, yeah, like it feels like the year is moving pretty quickly in that regard. And that's a good thing. I just wish that for some reason that humans could savor the good times. A lot of times it's hard to do that because it seems like they pass by faster, right? Let's see here. Did I ever think about replaying Dark Souls 2? Yeah, someone asked me that the other day, too. And I said I would consider doing it. I replayed it once with Scholar of the First Sin. Maybe at some point we would replay it again. But considering that we're doing Elden Ring, and there's been other Souls-like games recently, that's why it hasn't really been a consideration. Abdullah says Street Fighter 6 is his personal favorite game that I'm playing right now. He wished that I was a more focused streamer just on Street Fighter 6 so I could actually get better. Yeah, I know, but at the same time, if I were a focused streamer only focused on Street Fighter 6, likely a lot of the fun and stuff that we do, we wouldn't be able to do. I'd lose a lot of my audience because not everyone's into competitive fighting games. And honestly, I'd probably feel burnt out. That's one of the reasons why when I started on YouTube, I distinctly made the decision during that 2009, 2010, 2011 era that I wanted to do variety. I had an opportunity to just lean in on fighting games. But I just kind of said, nah, I like fighting games, but I don't want to only do that, and I think it was the right choice. Jade says, the story is a hot mess. And he misses 1v1. He's a big fan of Mortal Kombat, and he'll be in and out today. Okay, yeah, Jade, I agree with you on all of those sentiments. I really do. The one says, if I beat the final boss by respecking, I use a shield and a bleed weapon to beat him easier. Is that beating the boss fairly? Why not? Literally beating the boss in any way is beating the boss fairly. You know that, right? Unless you hack the game or cheat somehow. Using established things that are from the game to beat the game is fine. I don't know why people would think that it's not. That's kind of weird to me that you wouldn't even think that, right? Now, if you're someone who wants to challenge yourself and do it in a more creative way, that's different. If you're someone who streams for a certain kind of audience that expects you to do crazy challenge runs where you're deprived, level 1, you know, only using, throwing dung at the enemies, and you know what I'm saying? You light your body on fire before every fight. Whatever the challenge may be, you know, maybe you think that that's not fair. But if the mechanic is in there, then it's fair. There is no competition to beat these games in any certain way. There's just not, okay? Goldfish says, I think you're used to time passing when you're older. When you're 5 years old, a year is a fifth of your life. When you're 40 years old, a year is a 40th of your life. That is true, but at the same time, Goldfish, here's another thing that's an astute observation I've made. When you're young, right, you got a lot of time. It's not like, oh, you're a kid, you wake up, you immediately got to do this, then you're doing 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 this, then you do this, time for bed. It's not like that when you're young. When you're young, it's usually like you get up, you go to school, you come home from school, you do your homework. Okay, now what do you do? Well, I got a bunch of free time. What do I do now? Right? Or it's a weekend. You're not at school. What do I do? You got the whole day to do whatever you want. Right? But what's the problem when you're a kid? You don't have the means to do what you want to do. Oh, I want to go over a friend's house. Well, there's no way to get over there right now. You don't have a car, and your parents aren't available to drive you over there, and maybe your friend's busy or doing something. Oh, I want to go to the park. You can't get there. There's no means. What if I want to play a video game, but you don't have any money to buy one, right? So what ends up happening is you have all this time, but no means to do what you want to do. So what happens? Boredom. And boredom makes time pass incredibly slowly. So when you're a kid, you're bored a lot, and because of that, time barely passes. When you become an adult, all of a sudden, every moment of every day is already pre-planned and assigned to something because your life is so busy, right? Like for me, I woke up today. I immediately had to get up, use the bathroom, shave, shower, have breakfast with my wife, feed Jasper Kitty, get the food out in the backyard for all the animals that are out there, clean up the downstairs a little bit, come into the office, set up the stream, get the stream going, stream chat, attune everything here, approve comments, check emails, get the stream going, do the podcast, play Elden Ring. Just find the time to take a piss and shit between there at some point. Go downstairs, have dinner with my wife, clean up after dinner, maybe relax for 30 minutes. Get back to the late stream, set up the stream, talk with everyone in the stream chat, get the stream going, play Stardew Valley, interact with everyone. Oh, end the stream, upload the videos, set up the schedule for the next day, go downstairs, make the list for tomorrow's shopping, do this, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's my life. Like, boom, 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 boom. And when everything is full, when you have so many things you need to do, time just zoop passes by in like so fast. You don't have a time to just like sit here and relax. Like literally right now, watch this. Here's something I almost never do. I'm just sitting here. I'm breathing calmly, relaxing. I don't have 100 topics to talk about immediately. I'm not rushing into the game. I'm not rushing to answer every single one of your tagged comments. Right? And now, time is actually passing more slowly. It is. I can feel it. It feels like things are more relaxed, calm, right? But how often do adults get to do that? Right? You're so busy. I have to cram in a million things today. So, you know, and so time, boom, 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 flying by. But if something bad happens, right? If you're being tortured by something, if you're being bothered by something, then it's like you just want that moment to pass as fast as possible. But because you're in that moment of pain or suffering or annoyance or whatever it is, it feels longer. And that's when time passes slower again. No, OMG, I'm not going to play Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl 2. I don't care about it. Parasolo says, I love your content because of the variety. I'm glad to hear that. Let's see here. Would I go back to Call of Duty multiplayer? No, only when the new one comes out. And I am fascinated for when the new one comes out, because this time around, I'll actually be playing it on Xbox Series X this time with full 120 hertz, possibly 120 frames per second. I've never played a game at that rate before. I'm curious how it would look if it's any different or whatever. So that's going to be interesting. Soul Psych Records asks, what's your favorite video game soundtrack? That's too hard to answer. Like, I grew up with so many games that are classics to me, like Zelda Link to the Past and Street Fighter 2 and Chrono Trigger and Final Fantasy 6 and 4. And, you know, I keep going on Earthbound, Suikoden. You know, I could sit here and probably name 40 games that are amazing soundtracks. You know, modern era, like Mass Effect 1, so effing good, you know, awesome music. So I don't have just one. There's no way I could ever narrow it down. Lucy says she lived in Siberia for 2 years and now is back in the States. Well, welcome back. Hopefully things are going good for you. Daphne says, I'm older than you. Finding time to do nothing is impossible. Exactly. It's like any moment that you take to not be doing something is just a moment that now needs to be made up later because you didn't do what you were supposed to be doing at the time when you could have done it, right? Excuse me. Sorry about that. That was absolutely disgusting. Derp says, meditation with DSP should be a regular segment on streams. Okay, then. Goldfish says you should go on a vacation where you relax on a beach. I think it would be helpful. Oh, I do too. I mean, but how could I do that? I have to work. I can't not work, because a day not worked is a day no money earned, and a day no money earned is a day I can't pay my bills, at least in the current state of how things are right now. Also, you know, I've talked about this too. One of the factors is, you know, we have a pet, Jasper. Literally, Jasper has always been with us. And so for us to be away from him would be a traumatic experience, because he's always had us as like his parents with him. You know, not every waking moment of every day, but you understand what I'm saying. Like, we've never been away for several days or whatever. You know, if we were to put him into like a one of these pet hotels or whatever, he'd probably freaked out and come back. We come back and be like, what the hell did you just do to me? You know? So, one of the factors when you get a pet, you don't think about that, and then all of a sudden it becomes a thing later. Like, oh shit, now we just don't have the ability to just kind of drop whatever we're doing on a dime and go do something. We can't. We have a family, a pet that we have to take care of, kind of like a son, right? Oh, let's see here. The Blimp says, I hate to quote The Office. There's a great quote. I wish there was a way to know you're in the good old days before you've actually left them. There you go. Would I ever play Shrek 2 on PS2? I don't know. I know nothing about it. If there was a way to play it and it was accessible and you guys wanted to see it, maybe. You remember I played Toy Story 2 and 3 and you guys loved them. You loved those playthroughs. Someone said something so nonsensical, I don't even want to repeat it. I'm like, what the hell does that mean? What the heck does that mean? Oh, let's see here. I received a $1 tip. Says, I feel like how you described your schedule is going to turn out to be a meme clip. Obviously, life isn't as easy as we want it to be. It's not even a matter of being as difficult or easy. It's a matter of being full. You know what I'm saying? Like I'll give you a perfect example that I've talked about over the years. What kind of people become internet trolls or detractors? People who literally don't have full lives. Their lives are empty. They have nothing to do. They don't have a full life where they wake up, got to do this, got to do this, got to do this. They don't have shit to do. They're bored. So they sit around as adults with nothing to do with their lives, and they sit on the fucking internet all day, trolling people, bringing other people down, because that makes them feel better about themselves. Their empty lives only have meaning when they hurt people who have full lives. You see? So that's how that shit formulates and happens. That's sad. You want everyone to have a busy, full life of meaningful stuff that they're doing. Because the flip side of that is, what if you have a full life, but you actually don't like the stuff you're doing? That's just as bad as having an empty life of stuff with nothing to do. You know what I'm saying? Like, and those are the people who I feel have like midlife crises and stuff like that. Like, oh my God, I'm in my 40s, but I'm stuck in this life situation that I hate and stuff. Thankfully, that's not me. Like, I'm in a life situation. I like my life situation. There's definitely things that can be improved, but I'm actually very happy with where I am, and I'm happier now in this life situation than I ever was previously in my life. So that's why I'm not ever going to be in a midlife crisis, because I actually enjoy life more now than I ever did before. Fox, thanks for 22 months as a member. David Levinson said, must go faster, must go faster. Okay, I don't know who David Levinson is, but okay. Thank you, Fox. Night Shift says, I think dogs are easier to leave for a week. They get along with people better. It depends. I agree, and it really depends on the personality of the pet as well. In the case of Jasper, he literally is terrified of anyone but us. If we have someone come to the house to repair something, if a delivery person comes in and has a box, if, you know, on a rare occasion we have a friend or a family member who visits the house, he freaks out, runs upstairs, and hides under the bed until like a half an hour till the house is clear. He would never do well with anyone else. He would never do well in one of these care centers. He would freak out, and we don't want to do that to him, you know? Sir Lugo says, what do you think Embracer Group would do with their older IPs? No one knows. I mean, Embracer Group is a bunch of investors who bought a bunch of gaming stuff and have no idea what to do with them. So in a lot of the cases, they're just selling them off and stuff. So no one has any clue what's going to happen with that. I mean, we got to hope for the best, because they did buy up a lot of good gaming dev teams and IPs and things. And you got to hope that they don't just liquidate them all. You know, you got to hope for something better than the worst case. But I honestly don't know. Spidey says, my friend hired a pet sitter. She put the cat and dog together. The cat ended up getting mauled. You can't trust people with animals. Jeez. Goldfish says, too bad you don't live closer to your family. They could watch your cat for you. I mean, I know, but that's life. Iron Man the Power, how are you? He says he bought Luigi's Mansion 2. Good for you. Hopefully you like it. Double M says, a midlife crisis is like buying a new Corvette, dressing like a kid and partying, right? Essentially, a midlife crisis means someone gets to around the middle of their life cycle. Typically, people say it's around your 40s these days, because the life expectancy is around 80 or something like that on average, right? So you get your 40s, you know you're halfway through your life, and you look at your life and you feel like, oops, I've made decisions that got me stuck into a life that I don't like. For example, a husband who's married to a wife who maybe they don't really love each other as much anymore, He's got several kids who maybe are like nuisances to him. They're not really like poster children, you know what I mean? He has to deal with that. He really has no flexibility to do anything he wants in his life because he's stuck into this family unit that he doesn't really enjoy. Maybe he's stuck in a dead-end job he doesn't like, but he has to work that job to provide for himself and his family, and he has no options to move around or advance. He's just stuck in that job. He doesn't have anything in his life that he owns or likes. He doesn't like his house. He doesn't like his car. So you're right. What they'll end up doing is all of a sudden, out of nowhere, start dumping money into things that they want. So you're right. Buy a nice car. Start completely changing their persona, acting differently, going out and doing things they normally wouldn't do, getting a facelift, right? A completely redesigned appearance of face. You know what I'm saying? Like new hair, dye the hair, right? So you look younger, stuff like that. Sure, hair plugs, exactly. Hair plugs, basically not embracing their age and their life, but instead saying, oh, I've made all these mistakes, so now I'm going to pretend like none of it's real, and I'm going to act like I'm a 25-year-old, right? Acting frivolous and stupid. That would be considered a midlife crisis. You're desperate to feel youthful again because you wish you could hit the reset button on your life and start over because you're not happy with where your life is. That would be a midlife crisis. I am not playing Elden Ring on Xbox. I've been on PS5 since it came out. I don't know why you thought I was playing it on Xbox. I am not, Dr. Oink. Good day to you, Dark Souls Master. How's it going? Well, Lucy says try dual-wielding hammers in Elden Ring. It would fit your build. Are there dual-wield hammers? I don't know. Or I know what you're saying. Maybe you're saying like up the endurance so high that then you can have two hammers. That's pretty funny. Well, Retro X, I'm very sorry to hear that about your pet guinea pig. I hope that your pet guinea pig feels better. Sorry to hear that. All right. What's up, Game Boy? How are you today? No, actually, now that Game Boy's here, because one of the last things I wanted to talk about, and I had forgotten about it, is that I believe it was Game Boy left a pretty productive comment on a video. I'm curious what you guys think. All right, here's a comment. So, an idea that might help the channel. I know you organize your videos into playlists, but it can sometimes be hard to find those playlists of a playthrough, especially for older games. Searching on YouTube might only bring up one video out of the playthrough, and it's hard to find the whole playlist. I would suggest adding links to the playlist in the description of each video. Now, this is what I'm curious about for you guys. What is your experience these days finding playlists on YouTube? What I can tell you is I've been looking for my own playlists to watch Retro Replay on every Sunday night, and I do it on a different account. I don't do it, like, I'm not searching for it on DSPGaming with DSPGaming. Like, I'm logged in as DSP React, and I search for content from DSPGaming. So what I'll type is, like, Dark Souls DSPGaming. And then it should usually bring up a bunch of playlists for me. Like, it does. It legit brings up, like, Dark Souls 1, Dark Souls 1 Redemption Run, Dark Souls 1 Magic Build. Like, they all pop up for me. But there used to be a feature where if you were on someone's actual channel page, okay, you could actually search for particular playlists from that channel, but I'm pretty sure they removed the feature. So right now I'm logged into DSP React. I go to the DSPGaming channel. I click on playlists. I click on the search function, and I will type in Dark Souls. Dark Souls playthrough, Dark Souls Remastered the Magic Run, Dark Souls 3, Dark Souls 2, Dark Souls the Redemption Run, Dark Souls 3 DLC The Ringed City, Dark Souls 2 Crown of the Ivory King, Dark Souls 3 Ashes of Ariandel, a random podcast, Dark Souls 2 DLC Crown of the Old King, and every single thing I just brought up is a playlist. Then it starts bringing up individual videos after that. So, in general, if you go to my channel page, the playlist tab, there's a little magnifying glass. Click on it, and then you type in the name of the game you're looking for. That should find you the playlist. Okay? So that's the little key on how to do. I will agree with you. In general search, it barely works. General search on YouTube is atrocious. It barely works. But if you go to the channel page first, playlist tab, magnifying glass, then you can search individually for that. Okay? Cool. Now the second half. Furthermore, it might be useful to viewers if you include an end card with links to the next part of a playthrough. Not everyone uses playlists as helpful as they are. I think this might boost viewership as a playthrough continues on, because I notice usually part 1 gets tons of views and then they trail off. What do you guys think about end cards? And the reason I ask about that is I find that end cards are only useful in certain situations. Like, for example, when we are watching a video on DSP React, sometimes the end cards will pop up and say, hey, watch this other related video or something like that. And those are kind of useful. Sometimes I think the end cards are fucking intrusive because you're still not done with the video. And the end card will start playing like 15, 20 minutes, or excuse me, that was a big misspeaking, 15, 20 seconds before the end of the video. And that's incredibly frustrating because it's blocking the fucking video. I don't want to see this, dunk this fucking card out of my face. I want to see the rest of the video. That happens sometimes. I've also noticed that sometimes the end cards don't work right. And the person will be like, oh, so click here at the end card. And there's no end card. You're like, where is it? So I don't know if they don't load or after a certain time they don't work. But anyway, the real truth about end cards, there's only way that I could do an end card would be way after the fact. The video would actually have to be uploaded, published, and people watching it before the end card can actually be properly. Actually, I don't know about that. Now that I'm saying that, I think they fixed that. So maybe I think I am misspeaking now. Sorry, I'm thinking about reasons why I didn't used to use them, but I think they did eventually fix that, and you could set up an end card ahead of time now. I guess what the real problem would be, I need to have the link to the next video in order to link to the next video, but the link to the next video doesn't exist until all the videos have been published. So the videos would have to upload, publish fully so they have links, and then I could create the end cards to link to each video. So essentially, I would have to go back after the fact later on in the day and create end cards for each video. I'm not saying that it's not possible. I'm just saying that it would be a lot of extra work. And I'm not sure how effective it would be. Maybe it's something that I could test. Maybe I could see if one of my editors would be willing to maybe look at that and see if they could do it after the fact. Then again, I mean, that's asking them to do even more work. So, I don't know. I have to look into it. The playlist thing, I'll agree with. You have to search for a playlist individually on someone's channel to find a playlist. I know that sounds dumb, but it is. Like, you have to search on said channel, or else you will very much not usually find the playlist, right? But the end card thing, maybe that could help. I don't know. I'll have to look into it. Okay, and I thank you for that suggestion. Okay, guys, I think that's the show, right? I think we've covered everything. So remember, guys, this is a weird week. I'm not here tomorrow. I know normally I would be here on a Wednesday. I am not here this week. I come back on Thursday, and Thursday is going to be Street Fighter 6 again, trying to take Bison to Master. Fingers crossed I do better this time. And it's going to be more of the Riven Remaster, which I really like right now. I'm enjoying it, and I can't wait for more. The Apple Goblin just did a super chat and says, play the Siberia point-and-click series. It's a puzzle game compatible with your mental stack sooner than later and some real brain work. So what are you trying to say? A puzzle game compatible with my mental stack. I don't know if that's a compliment, an insult, or somewhere in between. I'm not sure what you mean by that. It very well could be an insult, but it could also be a compliment. If the game is tough, you could actually be saying that, you know what I'm saying? That, I don't know. I'm not sure. But anyway, Apple Goblin, thanks for the first super chat of the day. What's up, Venom Snake? How you doing? All right. The Siberia games are super easy, so it's an insult. Oh, awesome. There you go. Thank you. Thanks for the insult. All right. Let us end the show. Thank you guys for a great one. Have a safe and fun Wednesday of bathing at the beach, just like me in this picture here. Very accurate. Here's my reaction to that picture. Yes, have a safe and fun Wednesday. I'll be back on Thursday to try to take Bison to Master. But who knows what will happen when I face the army of labbing tryhards who have all memorized their 50-50 pattern guesses. Right? Okay, anyway. Thanks for a great week. Thanks for a great podcast. And I will see you. Okay.